with Tanta. Turn off the lights. Turn up the volume. Tonight's scary time story is Dead and Breakfast. What I am about to share is true. It comes from my own personal experience as we traveled around the United States. In 1985, our journeys took us to the state of Colorado. Little did we know, before the end of our travels, we would learn much more about the supernatural, ghosts, and things that go bump in the night. During one of our layovers, we met a couple that was staying in the motel room next door. We had breakfast. The husband was quite intriguing. He shared stories of a haunted bed and breakfast with a wicked history in the northern parts of Colorado. He seemed to have so much knowledge in the occult and the frightening truth of what was taking place at this bed and breakfast. As folklore had it, the original proprietors of the home were actually a coven of witches that lived there in the late 1800s. It was said that the witches would place spells and hexes on all ill-will visitors that crossed their paths. The witches did, however, take special interest in the wife of one of the villagers. She seemed a kindred spirit with a special gift only they could see. As time went on, the witches befriended Helen Rose. They realized she had a knack for making love potions and creating remedies from roots and flowers that would heal the ailing villagers. Unbeknownst to Helen Rose, one of the coven had taken a special interest in her. However, even within a coven of witches, a forbidden love was never allowed. Unrequited love? Maybe. However, Helen Rose received a number of love letters expressing the feelings and emotions of wanting to spend time together. Even though Helen Rose was married to one of the prominent villagers, she realized as she read the love letters from her Coven sister that the feelings were mutual. When it comes to matters of the heart, it doesn't matter what people say. It doesn't matter the rules. Love is love. The intriguing gentleman continued by saying apparently her spirit to this day haunts the residents of the now bed and breakfast. As we parted company, the couple gave us the name and location of this supposed haunted bed and breakfast. We were determined to see this for ourselves. 3 days later, when we arrived, we noticed the weathered state of the bed and breakfast. Nevertheless, our interests were piqued to see what lay inside. When we arrived, we were greeted by Penelope, the current owner of the property and great-great-granddaughter of one of the Coven witches. Penelope did indeed confirm some of the stories the intriguing man had shared with us, along with telling us some new things. For example, there was a cult and devil worship group that were there for a long period of time. Supposedly, their ghosts still haunt the hallways. Many believe the witches placed a curse on the house when they were forcibly removed by the villagers for practicing witchcraft. Until this very day, it is said you can hear the chanting of the witches if you listen carefully, underneath the moonlight in the woods. Sadly, Helen Rose is one of the victims of the wicked witches that put a spell on she and her husband, making sure her husband met with a very dreadful demise. Sadness overcame Helen Rose when she realized she had not only lost her husband, but she could never have the true love that she wanted and desired from her heart's core. Sadly, Helen Rose's depression grew stronger and stronger, overwhelming her day after day. Finally, she decided to take her own life, hoping to find true love and happiness in the ever after. Many of the villagers believed that the witches were behind the death of Helen Rose. Some say the witches still stand guard, watching for any ill-will visitors who trespass. Many of the bed and breakfast guests have insisted that they have seen Helen Rose frolicking in the woods out back. Maybe she truly did find her happily ever after in the ever after. Love will always prevail.